What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, man. So, as y'all already know, Rashee Rice just got in trouble, bro, for a car crash incident that happened. I feel like it was like a couple months ago, but now he's in some more trouble, which is kind of pretty bad on his part. I don't really know what's going to happen after this, but apparently he ended up assaulting a photographer or something like that. We about to go ahead and just jump right into this reaction. The original link to this video will be in the description down below. Shout out to Mike for this video. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it, though. No cap.
NFL star Rashee Rice facing a new investigation now. Police
Crazy,
say
bro.
He's accused of hitting a photographer. Allegedly happened at a bar on North Harwood Street in downtown Dallas. Police are currently interviewing witnesses about what went down.
Kansas City Chiefs fans are going to
It's crazy.
Rice update, and it has nothing to do with this existing car accident that we initially
just happened recently, not even a month ago.
This incident is completely separate from the car accident that took place at the end of March, although we will be touching upon it and bringing you guys an update.
He got sued for 10 mil? Damn.
Circumstances, there is a good chance that Rashee Rice misses the first half of the season, but we'll leave that up for debate. Before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way,
well, that's crazy, man. That part alone with the car crash can get him out. That one part alone, the car crash will get him knocked out for half the season.
Whatsoever to say that Rashee Rice has hit the lottery for every wide receiver that every young man playing the wide receiver position would dream of. Not only being a receiver for Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now, but being his top wide receiver in his first year, in his very rookie season. After being selected in the second round of the 2023 NFL Draft, Rashee Rice was one of the few wide receivers that the Chiefs have drafted recently that has fulfilled his potential. I mean, he almost had 1,000 yards receiving in year one.
Yeah, he had a good season for sure.
38 receiving yards, and then in the postseason, he was a very dependable wide receiver for Patrick Mahomes, and was a huge reason why the Kansas City Chiefs were able to win a Super Bowl. Any wide receiver that comes into the NFL and gets that type of usage and also gets a Super Bowl ring is in a remarkable situation for himself,
he hit the jackpot for real.
And probably financially if he could keep it up for the next 3 years. But unfortunately, the Super Bowl hangover for Rashee Rice was crazy, unlike anything we've ever seen. At the end of March, Rashee Rice was involved in a huge car accident that involved 6 cars. Speeding in his Lamborghini Urus that traveled over 119 miles per hour. It was a very strange situation because initially the cops couldn't find Rashee Rice. They eventually found him and he took accountability for the entire incident. The video of the incident is absolutely insane. At the time, there was no report of Rashee Rice.
They was racing, I heard.
But this is still going under investigation because Rashee Rice is also involved in a lawsuit as a result of this. This car accident injured several people, and investigators said that Rashee Rice was behind the wheel of a Lamborghini when he lost control and crashed into a Corvette. This is driven by a friend of his, Theodore Knox, and the crash caused a pileup on a Dallas highway on March 30th. According to court records, Rice agreed that he would not destroy any credit cards, debit cards, or receipts for any purchases he made within 6 hours of the crash. The restraining order also preserves any cell phone records, GPS information, and any blood or urine reports involving Rice that were taken shortly after the crash. In addition to this, the judge ordered Rice, Knox, and Bush Jr. from altering or destroying any firearms that may have been in either the Corvette or the Lamborghini.
I heard there was some of those in there too.
Each car. The negligence lawsuit filed by Kamlish Desai of Dallas County seeks more than $1 million. For those of you guys wondering, Rashee Rice is under contract for 4 years to make $6.5 million, and only $1.8 million is guaranteed. So this is a huge chunk of Rashee Rice's salary if he has to pay out the full $1 million. Now the lawsuit...
Nah, I thought it just said he was getting sued for $10 million though.
Claims that Rice and Knox were speeding when the crash happened. It also claimed that Desai was injured in the collision, and those injuries may be permanent. He also claims to continue to suffer both physical and mental pain following the crash. The lawsuit seeks money to cover medical care and expenses related to the crash, as well as any future medical bills. It also seeks lost wages and lost earnings capacity. The update on this particular part of Rashee Rice's life is the next hearing.
You know how scary that probably was though, bro, driving and your car turns on a highway? Like, oh, heck no.
in the lawsuit is scheduled for June. But in addition to the 2 lawsuits, Rice is charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 6 counts of collision involving injury. Dallas police said an investigation determined the 23-year-old was speeding on a Dallas highway when he lost control and crashed. So obviously there's a lot of speculation surrounding this. Adam Schefter reported that Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is expected to serve at minimum a multi-game suspension, which isn't the craziest
at minimum
thing. I mean, I was expecting Rashee Rice to be out for 2 to 4 games to start the season. But regardless, Rashee Rice went back to training with Patrick Mahomes, and things seemed to be fine. But the one strange part about all this is, once again, the Kansas City Chiefs selected a wide receiver this time in the first round of the NFL draft.
That's the part that could be an issue for Rashee Rice himself, because, bro, they just drafted a very good wide receiver that can easily play that same position. So if he ends up getting knocked out or whatever, or he ends up getting, suspended for a few games, and they like this guy right here, it can be pretty crucial to his career, no cap.
Xavier Worthy. And although he plays a significantly different role than Rashee Rice, obviously if you're Rashee Rice, you might feel a little uncomfortable. You were originally going to be the guy in this wide receiver room that was very thin, if we're being honest. So bringing in another rookie wide receiver may cause some concern. Maybe it was done just so the Chiefs would have an insurance policy in the event that Rashee Rice has to be suspended for a few games. My personal take on it is I feel like these are 2 separate wide receivers that are going to occupy significantly different roles in an offense.
I don't know about
really
that.
Connect the 2 together. And so far, Xavier Worthy looks like he has some development that needs to be done before he could really play a huge role in the offense. But I feel like Xavier
come on,
in a great
gang.
situation for himself, and he's
going
to be a great player for the Kansas City Chiefs if this one video is an outlier, which I personally think it is. Originally, the NFL was going to wait and see how this investigation went down, and I assumed that things were going to fizzle out for Rashee Rice, and eventually he'd get like a slap on the wrist for this entire situation. And then he went and did something incredibly stupid, allegedly, because on May 7th, we got a huge report.
This was 3 days ago.
Rashee Rice once again. According to WFAA.com, Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is under investigation for an alleged nightclub assault.
Yeah, this isn't good for him at all.
Out of all things that Rashee Rice could have been involved in following what happened with his car accident, which catches him in 4K acting incredibly irresponsibly, but thankfully everyone's alive as a result of his horrible decision. The worst thing he probably could have done was get accused of a nightclub assault. So this is what the report has to say about the allegations. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is under investigation for allegedly hitting a photographer at a club in Dallas early Monday. Dallas police sources say officers are interviewing witnesses about the incident that allegedly happened Monday at 609 North Harwood Street, which is the address of Lit Kitchen. Now,
3 days ago, it's crazy.
Insane if it's true. I mean, really, this is probably the worst thing you could do given the circumstances. Last month, Rice turned himself into the police in connection to his involvement in a multi-vehicle crash on US 75 in Dallas in late March. Records show that after Dallas police announced Rice would face charges for his involvement in that crash, Rice turned himself into the Glen Heights Police Department and was taken to the DeSoto jail, where his bond was set at $40,000. His attorney, State Senator Royce West, issued a statement after Rice turned himself in, saying that Mr. Rashee Rice turned himself in today and was released on bond. I want to re-emphasize Mr. Rice's continued cooperation with law enforcement. Mr. Rice acknowledges his actions and feels deeply for those injured as a result of his accident.
Bro, we're 3 minutes away from the video ending, and they're still pretty much talking about the whole crash situation.
Our legal team is now tasked with reviewing all legal documents. I just had to read the recap of what his lawyer said in that situation because he's trying to say that Rashee Rice was being very responsible given his circumstance, and then these allegations come up, which, by the way, I want to emphasize, just allegations so far. But I really hope these allegations are not true.
Imagine if it's not even really him.
Insane. It's actually nuts to me that a person that literally got into an incident about a month and a half prior to this, that could cost him about 60% of his guaranteed salary over the next 4 years, would go out and do something as erratic as attacking a photographer. I mean, we're gonna find out the result of this very soon. It's very simple. Most of these clubs have surveillance footage. I said this during the Alvin Kamara situation, and then a few months later, lo and behold, we did get footage of the Alvin Kamara situation. But in this case, man, it hasn't even been a month and a half yet. It's actually been more like 5 weeks since the initial report of Rashee Rice getting behind his Lamborghini Urus person racing his buddy came out, and there were huge problems for him as a result of it. The perception around Rashee Rice, this promising wide receiver one for the Kansas City Chiefs, has completely changed. And it's really unfortunate because if Rashee Rice continues to play well for the next 3 seasons, this man's going to get a big contract. I mean, easily could get paid anywhere from $10 to $15 million annually to catch footballs from the greatest quarterback in the NFL. Or you go sign a huge contract with another team. You don't necessarily need to be a superstar to get life-changing money. I mean, just look at Calvin Ridley. No offense to Calvin Ridley, but come on, man. With all due respect, this man barely gained over 1,000 receiving yards, and all of a sudden he signed a 4-year, $92 million contract.
Sheesh, my boy got paid.
Bro, you have a life-changing opportunity in front of you. Originally, when he made his horrific mistake with racing the Lamborghini Urus, I gave him a little bit of leeway. I was hoping he wasn't behind the wheel under the influence. We're still waiting for an investigation on all that, but I also wrote it off as, look, this is a young kid. He's 24 years old. He made a horrific
He's still young too,
that
facts.
No one should ever make. Hopefully he'll learn from it. Hopefully he'll hold himself more accountable. Hopefully he'll act more maturely, and hopefully he'll realize this could threaten his career. But if this allegation is true, it just shows that he is continuing on a downward trend, and if he keeps this up, then this opportunity could slip away from him. At the end of the day, we don't know how long a suspension is going to be, but it's just insane to me that you started out your career so well. You have so much to play for and such a good life ahead of you if you could just lock in and keep your head straight and not make terrible decisions, and yet he's consistently making poor decision after poor decision if this latest allegation is true. Hopefully it's not true. I'm going to keep you guys updated. Make sure you're subscribed and leave a like to support the channel. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Man, it's really crazy, bro, how, like, you can get right there. You can literally be right there as far as, you know what I'm saying, change your life, which his life has already pretty much changed. But, dude, bro, you got to make better decisions, bro. Don't crash out, especially over a photographer, my nigga. Like, not to knock what they doing, but, dude, you have way much more to lose. I don't even really know how it ended up playing out, but y'all let me know in the comment section down below. What do y'all think that this pretty much is going to happen to Rashee Rice at this point? He was already facing, you know, suspension for multiple games, but now with this coming out, and of course no legal action has still been taken, we got to wait and see how it end up playing out, though. It's just insane, honestly, to me. Let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think about that, though. No cap.